Welcome to Suzuka in the Porsche R-Class Racing, thanks to the lovely Porsche update this month. Now, this car is quite unique in the sense of I spent a long time trying to fuel it, figuring out that I should have a right amount of fuel for the race, and it says 0 laps no matter what I did. The penny didn't drop that it's electric. So more than welcome to laugh at me down in the comments below. But yeah, we are in an electric Porsche, turning in for turn 1. Things are a little bit squirrely. This tune isn't perfect. It's can be a little bit tail happy, but we're going to make it work. Now, I've chosen to go for medium tires because it is a short length race, but I have a feeling that it may or may not be enough due to the weight of these cars and the amount of torque they have. Yeah, they really do pull very, very well. Now, at the moment, we are in position 3, which is really, really good news. And that car in front is the only car in this race that has a different livery. So we are all teammates. Coming through here, 50 meter board, braking down to the same gear, but slowing down. And thankfully, we didn't meet the fate of that other person, but the car up in front did manage to gain that position. Let's hope we can claw it back because, come on. It's kind of hard to judge when you come in out that corner. Can I put the power down? Will it take it? You know, and will I collide with the car to my right hand side when I put that power down? Because it is a 4-wheel drive system and it does like to understeer as you apply power. It's kind of finessing the car, really, this thing, where you use the brake to initially slow yourself down and then you use the throttle to shape the car in the direction you want to point it. So off the throttle, it will happily turn in very deep and the back end will step out, and you'll apply a little bit of throttle to straighten her out a little bit as you're coming out the corners. Now, coming through here and not knowing what speed I should take, I go through flat out and just keep the throttle on because no penalty. Why not? I think that was definitely worth it. I don't think I gained time. And I'm actually surprised I didn't get a penalty for that because I did full send it into that and the tyres all glowed up and I just kept my throttle on. Why not? Why not? Coming down here, we're 1.2 seconds away from the car in front, 2.1 second away from the leader, and 1 second away from the car behind, as we totally misjudged this corner as well. Vera up in front did go off track, sadly not far enough that I couldn't gain that position back, but position 1 just quit the race. Fair enough. They've had enough, which I can understand. These cars are kind of weird. It's actually kind of weird that I can massively hear the tires on what they're doing and not hear the engine. It's so unusual not to brake down to a certain gear, know your speed of the vehicle whilst you're in that said gear. You know, it's really kind of weird, as I do get a little bit of a kiss from the car behind, and they have managed to claw us in a little bit, but we can get away by going off track and gaining a penalty. Oh, we did. Yeah, I thought we would. 0.1 second penalty, not actually too bad. I know a lot of people say if you let off the throttle you won't get a penalty, but I could have lost 2 or 3 tenths by letting off the throttle in that section there, and 0.1 was definitely worth it because the car behind also went off track and they also have a 0.9 second penalty. Coming through here, Vera is almost 2 seconds away, so I've got to be mindful of that and try and claw a little bit of time back in. Braking down now to about 65 miles per hour and start accelerating out the other side. Flat out down this section now, and hopefully try and get away from the cars behind as well, because the last thing I need to be is drawn into a battle that is kind of hard. It's a really unusual car to drive. Oh, crikey, a pixel on my back end over. Oh, thankfully no penalty. Yeah, so the back end does like to brave its chances of the penalty system. Thankfully the penalty system sees what's happening and says no foul play here, tuck your butt in. Braking at the 50 board, coming in absolutely hot, back end really over the line, getting a 0.2 second penalty and a collision. That does put me off track, but thankfully though the system noticed that and didn't penalize me for it. I did get a 0.2 though. I mean, it was style points, 0.2 seconds of style points coming through that corner there. Oh dear me, these tyres are not looking good on the front. I think they're about to click onto minor wear. Braking now round this corner and then accelerating out of the other side. Now, last part of the essence to go through. Can we break away from the car behind? I don't want them trying to make a move. I know it's the last lap and it's their last chance to try and overtake me. So I've got to try and make sure that we hold on to this position. They are slowly reeling me in a little bit. Car's getting a little bit playful, but we are just braving it. I mean, 3.4 seconds away from the leader, which is not ideal, but it's still quite strong, and 0.4 seconds away from the car behind. Just taking my time through this section here now, because I want to make sure I can get a better run out of these corners. I am increasing the distance away from the car behind, just from having the better exit out of these corners. Come on, 0.7 seconds away, 0.8 now, which is great news. Front tyres are now on to minor wear. That's going to be really interesting after we go down this back straight here. Braking at the 100 board there, staying in the same gear. it's so alien to make it sound like I don't have to change gears. It's really weird. I'm still clicking the paddles, not a lot's happening, but coming down here now, we are actually setting a better lap time, but it is a dirty lap, sadly, thanks to the bit of contact, I think. Coming down here now, touch the brakes nice and early. There we go, actually staying on the track for this one. 2 out of 5 laps isn't too bad. Braking down to about 50 miles per hour through it, over the curves we go. Try and really boost the track limits on the left hand side. Accelerate out of the corner, 1 second away from the car behind, 2.2 seconds away from the car in front. So we have really caught up to them, and we are setting a best lap time of 2:05, I think it is. Yeah, 2:05.253. So we have set a reasonable lap time. The best one here is a 2:03. We have a 2:04, 2:04. So 2:05, there is improvement to be made. But before we do see any improvements, I'd like to take a moment out to thank our channel members, which is Jeffrey Anderson, Andy Good, Sigmatic, DMC Motorsport, Daniel Adams, John Burns, AK47, and Sapphire. Thank you guys ever so much for supporting the channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. But now we're going to head over to Indianapolis and see what we can pull off there. We're at Indianapolis. It is a night time. It's been a while since I've been at this track, I'm not going to lie. And it's quite nice to actually be back here. We are starting pretty much lower end of the pack. There wasn't all that many in this race. I found this lobby's kind of weird because 1 minute the first race wasn't too bad as we come through the first corner, which isn't too bad. Oh, there's the bad. Thankfully, I managed to survive it, and we didn't fall off the track much. We only actually probably gained places overall, really. Just got to make sure I get past this car up in front, and then we back on the podium. Simple as that. Anyway, yeah, so these lobbies were kind of weird because when joining them, there was like 1 or 2 people in the lobby, even backing out and going back in. They're still the same. I was getting put back in the same lobby constantly, so that wasn't really changing anything. And I found that was close. You know, we stayed in that said lobby, and this is what we ended up with at the end of the race. Like, it really wasn't all that populated, and I don't know, I expected it to be a little bit more popular. Whether I was unlucky or not for the joining of the servers, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below if you have done this race and how the population has looked for yourselves. I think the cars up in front are going to battle quite heavily, so hopefully we can capitalize upon that. Just sit back, watch, and see how it unfolds. We're coming down here now, looking for the 150 board here, braking just on it or just before it, down round this corner, and touching the brakes again, get the nose in, accelerating out the other side. Kind of an oddball corner here, so you want to accelerate out, brake as you go straight, and then turn in and then start accelerating out of this corner. I try and not go over these bumps too much because I don't know if it actually costs you any time. You can hear the car like skip like it's obviously not on the ground. So I don't know if that's going to cost you more time than it is to actually try and avoid the bumps. But I usually actively try and avoid the bumps because I do have a new setup on this car now, a different tune, and it definitely is a bit, it's not as soft as the previous setup. That's the way to put it. So the bumps do affect it a little bit more. Coming around here now, braking just before the tents on the left hand side, turning in, cutting that corner as brave as you can do so, bearing in mind all the track limits, getting right up the car behind. You see the pressure is a little bit on that car up in front, so we're going to see if we can outbrake them at the end of this section here. We have a great run out of this corner now. I'm going to swing it over to the right hand side and look out for this 150 board here. With 250, 200, brake. And they brake later. It worked a treat. Come on, right, poke your nose in and power on. There we go, out the other side, and that position is gained. Now we just have to make sure that we hold on to this position. Not too sure whether I can find 2.3 seconds from the car in front. It'd be pretty good if we could. And 2.2 seconds, so we are setting a better lap time again. 6/10 up this lap, and we have managed to reel away 1 second from the car behind. Braking in this corner now, over the curb we go, get it pointing in the right direction. Over the curb on the right, cut the corner a little bit on the left, and just hard on the brakes here, and start accelerating out. Be very mindful when you do accelerate out, do not go onto that grass. It will pull you straight off. So you really have to be very, very careful when applying the power coming out of the corner. Braking just before the tents on the left, cutting this corner again. I think that was a very close cut, and then braking again, pointing it in and bringing it back over to the left so you get a better run out of this corner now. Use the curb if you have to coming out, and just glide the throttle to keep the car pointing in the right direction. 6/10 up at the end of this lap, so we'll be setting a 124.949. Not too bad overall. Again, looking out for the 150 board, braking just as your nose touches it, and then over the curb we go here on the right, onto the curb on the left, and it's basically, hopefully, trying to get away from this car behind. We have lost a second to the car up in front, which is not ideal, but I'm not overly concerned either. Providing I can hold on to position 2, I'll be quite proud of myself at the end of the race, and making sure that the car behind is keeping their distance away from us as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, it'd be great if the car in front does do a mess up or anything, and we do reel them in for any other reason. Yeah, brilliant stuff. But 3 seconds is going to be quite hard to find. And bearing in mind though, I do have to make sure that I can sort of tyre save as well. For the sake of, I don't want the last lap or halfway through the end of lap 6 to start of lap 7 that our tyres are in a relatively good shape. I don't want them to be degraded and thus costing us time trying to keep the thing on the track. Surprisingly enough though, it's leaders 3 seconds away, Preem Bigham's behind is 1.5 seconds away, and position 4 is 8.5 seconds away. 1.5 seconds away from the car behind, 2.5 away from the car up in front, and this is our final lap. So this is going to make or break whether we hold on to position 2. I'm pretty sure unless position 1 has an incident by themselves, that is, they're stable, but 1.5 seconds away from the car behind, kind of close. Oh, we are 1/10 up on our best lap time as well, which is, providing we can maintain that, be quite nice. Front left hand tyre has clicked onto minor wear. The front right one is not going to be too far away, I do not think. Probably 1 or 2 corners left in it. Over the curb we go, accelerating out the other side. Got to keep an eye. I mean, it's quite interesting because the front tyres are wearing quicker than the rear tyres, and I would have thought the power would have been more to the rear. I mean, it does handle very, very well, and we do get a great 4-wheel slides out of these things. Both front tyres now onto minor wear, which is actually quite good that we finished the last lap, really, and the tyres clicked on that. And look at that, we're just setting a better best lap time at the end of this race. I think we just set a 124.4. We did 4.27, and we have the second quickest lap time as well, because position 1 did a 123.691. Incredible. Anyway, thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Goodbye.